I hope you're doing well, wherever you're watching this video from. Um, Today is Sunday, 12th March. So 12 days plus 28 plus 31. 31 plus 28, that made 59. Yeah. Plus 10, 69. So we have done 65 days are already done. I hope you guys are doing well. For the guys that download these videos and watch them later in the night, probably as you jog or as you exercise, or if you watch these videos as you're seated chilling or eating supper, or if you watch this in the morning as you drive to work, thank you. I really appreciate that you take your time and data to watch these videos. I don't take it for granted. For the guys that are watching this video a week or a month or even a year after I did this video, I don't take that for granted either. The fact that this information can, even in the little bit apply to your present kind of situation, cannot be taken for granted, that you actually allow this to to apply in your life. Almost daily I get messages from people that either want to buy cars or are planning to buy cars, and there are people that send me messages and they're not really clear about what they want, and being clear about what you want is very important. And so I thought that maybe let me talk about this today, since it's a Sunday, so that as we start the week, we all get very clear about what we want. Because having a car and wanting to buy a car and being able to afford a car and actually buying or needing to buy the particular car you want are very different things. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. Let's leave all the mechanical things and conditions and where you're buying the car from, and let's leave all those facts that we will use to determine whether the car is worth the money. Let's first drop them and focus on you as a person, because we're just individuals. Sometimes shit will work out, sometimes shit will not work out, and the sooner you understand this, the better. So constantly I get messages of people that tell me, "Hi Arthur, I'm your follower on For the Love of Cars, and I am planning to buy a car, this particular car, and this is the reason why I want to buy this car." And hi Salmi. And normally every person that texts me and they want a car, they will definitely have a budget. So today I'm using this MTN dongle, and I have it on a power bank. I'm seriously hoping that it actually stays. Yesterday it disappointed me, and ideally MTN should be better. It should have a better network here. That's what I've had. All villages, MTN is definitely said to have better network than Airtel, so I'm hoping it does. So today I'm going to be talking about what your power as an individual can do for you and where it should stop. Totally talking about cars, definitely, and I don't want anyone to misunderstand me. I'm not going to talk about anything that doesn't relate to cars today. So in 2021, I have a relative of mine had a Toyota Noah 1999 model, new, almost new. Do you know why? Because he had bought it about that's 2021, about 10 years ago, and he bought it himself. He ordered for it using Big Forward from Japan, and he rarely drove that car. He rarely drove the car because he had a company car that he used to drive. So his car would be parked in a garage for most of the time. Mark II Grand has a VVTi engine called Beams 2000, very good engine. That engine can also be found in a Mark II, the normal Musota. It can also be found in the Alteza. So this relative of mine had a very, very good Noah. Poorly maintained, but very good. Why do I say poorly maintained? It's because this car had almost everything was new. Almost everything was untampered, because the fact that he rarely drove it meant that he rarely maintained it. He had never changed plugs from the time he bought it from Japan, and you can imagine having the same plugs for 10 years in this car. The same plugs. The only thing he had changed were the brakes, and he had been doing oil changes like everybody. Like the one thing we know as service is doing oil changes. He had never touched the gearbox oil and all. So this car was really nice. The AC worked properly, very clean interior, a very nice body, and he was getting to retirement. And when he was getting to retirement, we have all these ideas in our heads. So majority of the men, I'm a man, and most of you guys that are watching this video right now are men. So majority of us men have this idea of, when I get to this age, I'm supposed to be driving this car. When I get to this age, I should have a car that is this big. When I get to this age, I should have a four-wheel drive. You get? So he had this idea because he worked in a very big organization, and he was one of their drivers, very, very good driver. And most of his bosses, whenever they retired, they would have, of course, when they were working with, he used to drive them in company cars. So when they go to retirement age, they would buy these Hilux double cabins, the Ford double cabins. So it was custom for him. You get? I hope it's interesting, Daniel. Hi Moses. Hi Ayman. I hope you guys are doing well. So he was accustomed to seeing everybody that retired getting out of driving these Land Cruisers, okay, being driven in the Land Cruisers, in the company cars, and then transitioning, starting to drive themselves in a double cabin pickup. Now he gets to a time and he retires. Okay, he's not poor, simwavu, so he has, you would say he's one of those old men that have shit figured out. He has a primary school, he has a very nice house, almost all his kids are out of school. He has 2 remaining, one is at campus on government sponsorship. You get what I'm saying? The kind of life that almost all of us would want to go through. You want to retire when all your kids are almost out of school. Or ideally, you would want to retire when all your kids are done with school, so that you can enjoy your life. Yeah. So hi Charles, I hope you're doing well. So he retires, and like I said, his Toyota Noah was almost new. You get? He had bought it 10 years ago, and he was driving it literally like once a month, because he had a company car that he was driving. And so I happened to hang around him in 2021 for like 2 to 3 months, and during that time he was obsessed with buying a double cabin pickup. He did not know exactly which double cabin pickup to buy, but he was really obsessed with retiring and owning a farm and having all these probably watermelons, putting them on his double cabin pickup, supplying markets, supplying supermarkets, supplying shops, supplying schools. You get what I'm saying? He had all these ideas of, like, as a retired person, as a retired wealthy old man, I should own a farm, 10 acres probably. He has a farm, right? And he had started farming, having plants and all that. I don't know, I'm not a farmer, and like I've said time and again, in the sijja kulima. Which again, at the time I've tried to plant stuff at my place, nagenda waffe mukyali ewa jjajja wange eyankuza nenzijjayo ebitooke ngendo tuuka wano ngagonja. You can imagine. So you need to know when the universe is telling you you're not made for this. Anyway, so he sells his Noah. Of course, the money he sold the Noah wasn't enough to buy a double cabin that is in good condition. However, remember, I've had all I've had all these opportunities to get exposed to cars. So during that time, I was driving a Primo, and they got me a double cabin pickup. You know the L200s? I think it was like around 1996 model. It was a UAQ. It had bull bars, a trampoline covering the tray in the back. The tires it wasn't in very bad shape. it was a very good price. We had our company. So this person was selling it to me 8 million. So no civicoro really buy the salmon. I planted cassava, a weird fence, and remember when you're building a fence, you have to leave 5 feet for the road. So a weird fence and Najuzayem Mogo Nafa in Twalia Echikodo, a Bikodo Bibi, Twalia Keviari Mundamuchikomera. Anyway, so we sold the Noah, and then I got an offer of this Mitsubishi L200. I think it's the one coming in front of me, if I'm not mistaken. Not that particular one, but it looked like that. It looked really nice. It was a UAQ, but it almost looked like that one. You get? So I get this offer to buy this L200 at 8 million, and I tell this man, you know what? Come take out this car. Okay? It might not be in the best condition, but we sold the newer like 16 million. Buying this one at 8 million, even if you found the engine bad, you would use like 4 million to repair the engine, and you still have some money remaining. You get? But let me tell you this one thing. If you said everything abantu betwesiga nnyo batubba batutomeza nnyo okitegeera batutomereza ddala. So this man, when he was still working in that big organization, there was a guy that used to repair their cars. You know, every organization baba ne makanika waabwe okitegeera. So this guy used to repair cars for their organization, and I think they had created a kind of relationship. Naye ng'oli makanika yamanyi ono musajja mugagga nnyo. When they meet, it's like, hey, mugagga oli kuki? And me, being a person that has never been, you know, there is a difference between people that are formally employed and people that are hustling like me. Me, I hustle every day. I've had my share of hard times. I'm going to give you another example very soon there to show you that there is a difference between people that are formally employed and people that hustle. So we meet with this guy. First, they call me for a Hilux, and before we sell this Noah, they called me for a Hilux, and we go check it out. But I'm not very sure about it. But just then, this guy gets an offer to buy his car. And we go to this Indian guy who was going to buy the car, and I tell this man, Omani, before we take this Indian man's money, let's first go check that double cabin and make sure it's the one thing we want to buy. But I think Omuntu, and you guys learn to listen to the people that are close to you. Omuzimu gw'okuwuliriza babroka gwali gumulinnye. Nagamba nedda katukwate sente z'omuyindi tugende. We got the money, yazikwasanze. We sat in my Primo. We went to the double cabin in a 4-wheel drive take order. You get what I'm saying? So it's like an instinct that told me, before you sell this car, first go and make sure the other car is actually good. We sold the car and the car wasn't checking out. So the next day he said, so we got that guy. We went to the car. Actually, in the Tibampa na mafuta wanagi. Chokura bacharging us sente nze kati. And we go with that mechanic. Nagambe ne motoka mujireke nja kufunira motoka. Omanyi omuntu nga nakuba yeewomya. And nze kubanga oli yali muntu mukulu ansingira da retirement age aba muntu mukulu nnyo. So I did not want to overstep. Oli muntu mukulu, nze ndi mwana muto. Bw'aba asazeewo okuwuliriza oli gw'ayita makanika kafulu, it's okay. So along the way I get this L200 that I told you about, and I call him, nemugana naye omanyi walikebedde ku motoka eno eri mu bbeeyi nnungi nnyo miliyoni 8, and it was good. It was a good number plate. It looked good. Nga ebyokukola bitono okitegeera. Gundi ajja kunfunira emmotoka. Nze kasita yangamba gundi ajja kunfunira emmotoka nange nenzira mu byange. So a couple of weeks later, he calls me and tells me, I got a car. I say, okay, which car did you get? He say, I got a hard body, Nissan hard body. Okay. Number nkadde naye double cabin tetugula number. Okay. Naye nagiguze nga yeetaaga okufuuwa. Body teyabadde nnungi. N'ebyokukola bwe ebirimu. Wagiguze mmeka $2,000,000. Eri ku namba ki UAF. People, kwegamba wabawo omuntu akubba. Someone can cheat you, and they even I think that the broker that was in that deal bought a car for the wife. The other car deserved to be bought at 10 million, the condition it was in, because after paying 20 million for that car, he took it to the garage, had it resprayed. That's like a car 600 or 700, and he was telling me, because we are related, you get, the car needed to respray. That was like a 700. I'm thinking it had no tire, completely no tire. I think he hasn't even put tires, but even up to now, so it needed new tires. Each tire is about 400. You can imagine buying a car at 21 million, and then you have to insert that like 1.5 for tires. You have to respray. The interior wasn't good. The electronics were bad. You get, and then later on we find out the engine was also bad. You get. So sometimes, now just imagine he had bought the L200 and the engine was bad. He would have put like 4 million to rebuild the engine, and it would have been okay. The tires were there. The body wasn't so nice, but it was drivable for a pickup. You get, everything checked out, because this was a daily driver for the person that I was buying, the person that was offering to sell it to me. So it would have been a better choice. But the point I'm trying to make is that however obsessed you are about a car, about a type of car, you need to understand that you're only human. This is one thing you should never forget. You're only human, and we as humans, you know, they tell us our brains are very powerful, but your brain can only contain the things you have been exposed to. I will tell you that I've been with my young cousin brother for weeks, and for that time there are things I learned from him. I started driving cars before he started driving. He can drive a lorry that's packed with sand. I cannot drive a lorry that is packed with sand, because I'm not experienced with driving lorries. I don't have the patience of driving lorries. Actually, the slowest I drive a car on weekends is when I'm doing this live broadcast. Lorries need a patient person to drive them, and my young bro is very patient. He can drive a lorry better than me, yet he learned to drive a car 10 years after I started driving. And I'll tell you that I've been driving since 2010, but with lorries he's better there. You get what I'm saying? So we need to understand that as humans, there are things that you cannot know. And majority of the time when people are stuck up on buying certain cars, it's about things they've had, about things they assume they know. Oh, sorry, network still went off. Yeah, but it has held up. So majority of the time, then you get to the ideas you have in your head that maybe this car will serve me. And then there are these ideas we have that a car will probably give you prestige. A car will make you... I had a conversation last week with a certain gentleman in his 50s, probably late 40s maybe. And I think I talked about him here sometime. He had a Harrier. No, before, when I had just met him, he had a Nua. Okay? And then he sold it, complaining that the Nua was taking a lot of his fuel. So I was waiting to see. When people that are close to you normally don't really trust you for advice. So I was waiting to see which car he brings after he sold the Nua that was consuming a lot of fuel, because the Nua is 2000 cc, the old engine. So he spent like 2 weeks without a car, and the next time I saw him, he was driving a Harrier old model 2.4 cc. So then I was thinking to myself, okay, this guy sold a Nua 2.0 cc because it was consuming fuel, and then he buys a Harrier 2.4 cc. Okay, where is the mathematics? In all essence, the Nua was a better option, because the Nua seats 7 people, but the Harrier seats 5 people. Okay? Then I realized that this man is at an age where most men actually start getting confused. They are torn between the prestige of my age and what I can actually afford, or what I should be affording. And we have said time and again, in the 50s, you remember when we were talking about the age groups, in the 50s, people may normally start making mistakes. 50s, 60s there. In their 50s and 60s. So he sold the new at 2.0cc because it was consuming a lot of fuel, and I thought, okay, he's going to downgrade, probably buy a premium model, you get, or buy a Wish 1.8cc, or even a 2.0cc Wish. And then along the way, I'm driving slow, Edwin. So along the way, he sold this Harrier that he bought, the 2.4. Actually, he didn't sell it directly. He took it to a bond somewhere. He was occupying it. Naji parking ayo. And I asked him why. He said, "The motor keye nyona yonjiko yekati nyina nebinta wanya tunyumiza na bya motoka." And he told me a bunch of issues that normally women will face, whether we like it or not. But nebis utuja beat and then I thought that, okay, he has sold this car because he has a bunch of problems. The next car he's going to buy will actually be not only easier to maintain, but it will consume less fuel. You get? And I waited. We did not talk for like 2 months. The next time I saw him, yari aguze kaundo. My guy, some things are really funny. So in the first instance, he sold the newer because it was consuming a lot of fuel, and then he bought a 2.4cc Harrier. Then when he sold the 2.4cc Harrier, because, well, I have a bunch of problems, then when he bought a Kaundo. A 2.2cc Kaundo. Now, yes, the Kaundo is going to consume less fuel than a 2.4cc Harrier old model, yes. Then I was having a conversation with him and I was telling him, network, hi Clip Films, hi Martha, hi Pastor Joseph. Yeah. So when he said was consuming, I expected him to buy a more, what do I say? Probably a smaller, lower maintenance, lower fuel consumption car. So I was having a conversation with him and I was telling him, what the tell avuga moroka nene wetu era abazivuga tebasuka kilomita nga 5 kuva waabwe oba kilomita 7 because of fuel. Because of fuel. And he looked at me nangamba, no, yeah, I do consultancy work. Bogenda kuda consultancy ngovuga moroka ntono, bogenda ku boda bakuwe mitwale 3, bogenda mu Kaundo yo bakuwa 10. And you know, that sort of did not make sense to me. You know why it did not make sense to me? Because back when mitwalo 10 ngogeza okora consultancy ngovuga Kaundo, but how many consultancies do you do in a week for you to think that 100,000 should make you buy a Kaundo? I actually think that if they give me 30,000 on a border, it's better than giving me 100,000 in a Kaundo. Why? Maintenance of Kaundo is high, consumption of a Kaundo is high. It's possible, Salome. Now, yeah, is it worth it? Is it worth it? You have to ask yourself that. Is it worth it? Because you can put a 2.0cc engine. Why? Because the body is bigger than the engine, so the engine has to struggle to move this body of the Harrier. Anyway, and when I sort of told him, then he said, I think he hasn't driven the Harrier for long, the Kaundo. Consultancy. You know, I told you some time back, there is no time that I've ever bought a car and I bought a car simply to drive myself. I've always bought a car because there is a reason bigger than me driving to town. There is a reason bigger, and majority of the time, picnic enga Kaundo, enywanga Kaundo, picnic enywanga Kaundo, ina robeji singa. Arthur, just baba bogeza, beyogeza. My client sold the some picnic and later loan yagula Land Cruiser. Mpozi tukambi baba beyogeza bweyo. If you sell a car that consumes less and then you buy a car that consumes even more, simanyi chobo nonya. But you know something, Moses. Watching amanti ono gaite yeyogeza because yajivuga ngabuli lunaku. Buyadda ku Harrier ngajivuga mu omurundi gumu wiki nda nalinya boda. Kitegeza Harrier yali emukola ki? Harrier yali emuyingira. okitegeera era ne kawundo tagivuga buli lunaku. I don't know if I make sense. Kati waliwo omuntu gwolaba nga ye teyeeyogeza looking at what you know about him, okitegeera, because me I can drive my Corolla every day, okitegeera. I don't think I'll drive a RAV4 every day. I don't think I'll drive a RAV4 every day because the RAV4 is 2.0cc old engine. Okay, the only RAV4 I would buy would be the RAV4, I think a better second generation, a movie VTI 1.8, and I would pray so hard. Sorry, network keeps disturbing me, it keeps disconnecting me. So I was saying in manual, there are places where I kulobora and I put it in free and I let the car flow, but the automatic guy will actually have to leave it in drive, so they consume much more fuel than me. So if I were to drive any other car, I'll drive a 1.8 bigger than this. I'll drive a 1.8 maximum VVTI. And that RAV4 that I'm talking about, I'll probably get it at around 15 or 16 million. It's probably lower if it's manual, probably like 13 if it's manual. But automatic would be 15, 16. And I would not go to 2.0cc. Because even 1.8 is like a stretch. That's why I'm saying the 1.8 would have to be manual. That's why I cannot drive a Harrier. I cannot drive a Noah where I am and the current situation that I'm in. Because I will tell you that a person that drives a Harrier from my estate, and for you to consume 50k a day, you would need to actually make 100k. It doesn't make sense to me at all. Then we are only human. Sometimes, you know, I think it's a culture that Ugandans are slowly adapting to. When you're starting a business, you need to talk to a business consultant. And then probably business consultant, and the Ugandan business consultants are funny because they don't do research, they don't do what. Kati otuka ku business consultant wa Uganda nganaita mancha kola. Nganaye mwenye business here struggling because they don't do research. Ideally, a business consultant should be doing research, have figures and facts, subscribe to companies, research companies, and then get information. According to this research, we have this number of people that can buy your product. According to research, the income streams are like this. According to research, GDP is like this, and this it will affect your business like this. So you need to know. But you got a business consultant being struggling and businesses are. But ideally, when you're starting a business, you should go to a business consultant. So when you're buying a car, you should come to people like me and pay. Whatever I've told you time and again, even if you take your brother to help you check a car, pay them money. Pay them money. Cut that old man, remember Dembaga hard body UAF million abili. Arabikati yasa suroli sent, oli na ina bako million ngamunana. Kuba mtekukwe mwani mba broker balala. Okitegeera kati emmotoka agiguze million 2 agenda gisaka emipiira yagifuuyira wiring mufu ne engine enywa oil. Okitegeera, so you can understand when you don't trust the people you should trust, sometimes you make the biggest mistake. That's why my title today is that we are only human. I don't really remember the words I used, but that's exactly what I meant. We are only humans, and being human, the amount of knowledge you have is subject to what you have been exposed to. It's subject to what you have read. It's subject to what you have watched. You get the amount of knowledge you have is not subject. You cannot keep guessing yourself your way around things. If you keep guessing your way around things, you're going to make mistakes that will be fatal for you. I've been talking to a young person, close young man to me. For some time I've been engaging him. He's struggling as a person. And the kind of things he's going through, I went through. But for the biggest part, I struggled a lot because I did not have a mentor. And it was not until I got myself a mentor that I started getting out of this struggle. Because a mentor is supposed to be someone that is probably should be older than you. Nga wo itakati ya itawo. Okitegeera. Nga byokola kati yabikola. That's a mentor. So it's not until I got myself a mentor that I started seeing the light and I started doing things. So I'm talking to this young man and I'm telling him, he's a young man, but I'm not too old. I think I'm older than him, like 3 or 4 years. And some time back, he was struggling with decisions, applying to a supermarket for a job as a supermarket aisles. And I told him, come on, man, because I know him, he has a lot of potential. And I was telling him, you man, you have a lot of potential. Katigwe, potential to him in a supermarket. This was not me motivating him, this was me telling him the truth. Potential to him in a supermarket, and then in a restaurant or a cashier. Potential to kurabwa cashier ku supermarket. Bagenda kuwa sente meka. Mitwaro 19 emitwaro 2 omwezi. That's how much daily. That's like 5K a day. That's money you should be making when you work somewhere for like 2 hours a day, and not every day. Like once a week or twice a week. But if someone wants you to work in a supermarket Monday to Monday from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m, come on. Bongo bwe bwakutawanya. And it doesn't mean omuntu struggling at chitegeza nti musibo batategeera. Akaseera akabaina a knowledge gap. It's the same thing that happens with people that want to buy cars. Last week I told you about a gentleman that texted me. He wants to buy a certain kind of Benz that should cost him 28 to 35 million. But for him he had a budget of 15. Simanyi obanya agenda n'abagamba bantu mwenti Benz za raisi ziringa pichi pichi. Olaba ne pichi pichi si za raisi. Someone lies to Ugandans that Mercedes-Benz are cheap to buy. No. Bad Mercedes-Benz, a Mercedes-Benz that is cheap to buy is a Mercedes-Benz that is in bad condition. Watch together. And right now, not just a Mercedes-Benz. Right now, any car that is cheap to buy will be in bad condition. I'm being truthful. Someone also texted me, I got a good CRV Honda, $1,500,000. And I was open to him. Mugamba CRV Honda $1,500,000. Jajje vugojije wojiguze tomorrow efe. Wachitegeera encho jojji kubogende joragigane. Okujijja spending akakadde. So why are you trying to save? I was open. Mugamba buying a CRV Honda at 5 million, buy a Harrier to 3,000 cc and struggle with fuel. At least with a 3,000 cc Harrier, you will know when you fail to drive it, it's fuel. It's not that that the car will be dead. The fuel will be the one that will be what is hindering you from driving that Harrier. But with a CRV Honda, actually a CRV Honda even at 10 million in Uganda, you can fail to put it on, to keep it on the road. It's not that the car is a bad car. No, we don't have specialist mechanics for CRV Hondas or for Hondas in general. We have specialist mechanics for Mercedes-Benz. We have specialist mechanics for Toyota. We have specialist mechanics for BW. Guys, let me just show you. Remember, Martha, when we were talking about houses, it's there, it's almost complete. So that's the roof that we were talking about. Yajimaliriza kati atadde sizeranji n'amasanyalaze yatadde, by the way. So that's the hidden roof. It's a very nice house. I think it has like over 4 bedrooms, over 5 bedrooms, ne garage iri kweri, and he has a very big compound. Yeah. I have a cousin brother who has just bought an Impreza GT manual, and he says he got it for speed, but it isn't comfortable like his Kawondo. What is your view? Subarus are not comfortable. Me, I've been telling you guys. It's good what we are kugambi. Atezo the baguleza speed is atezo zote zidi comfortable. They are not meant for comfort. Those Subarus that are meant for racing, they are not meant for comfort. They are meant for you to finish the job. You're going to do 180 kilometers in 30 minutes, do 180 kilometers in 30 minutes. You get, don't be comfortable. Like go fast. Abantu abamu bazole. My neighbor yatunze wishi mbwenywa nnyo kosa eggulu yaguze Benz 200. So you sell a wish that it's consuming and you buy a C200. You know, that's why sometimes we think there is witchcraft in Africa. Kato emoroka bwene mulemanga gamba waliyo omuntu mu kikamuloga atayagala avuge emoroka. Eyajjajulira, but can hurry out 5 million be in drivable condition? Yes, but it will be 3000 cc. It will be drivable, but you'll have to do repairs definitely. Oshitegera ne hurry ya 3000 cc 5 million ebaya kunoonya nnyo. Hurry ya 3000 cc ejja kubeera 7 million 8 million right now in the current conditions. Oshitegera atera ya 7-8 million omusanga emutuddemu nga abuliddwa akola ki? Abuliddwa agigula. But 3000 cc ojjajjiwulira mafuta. But network keeps disturbing me, guys. Thank you for staying around. What's this? Tekasago. We should appreciate Uncle Arthur cause bingi byetuize. Tekasago. Bolaba cheap Benz Duka. Yes. Hey, you are saying his name, yeah. So someone wanted to buy a Benz, but I will share a picture in a post later on today. I still have his pictures. You will not get that Benz. And I've realized people that want things they cannot afford. Normally, bantawanya na butawanya ku WhatsApp. Custom gama pre-purchase inspection yange yazino. Ngatadda mukunyega. Ochitegera. Those are the people that disturb me. Na kubeera ko nakugamba bwe sigula. He said another one, Lexus. Nenga ne Lexus jagamba eri mu million 3.5. Nenga ayina maximum 2. Kato yagala kunchawo. I don't want bad money. I don't want evil money. So there are things I totally avoid. So ebisale ebisinga bwongo bwe bubira bututawanya. But it's a very good thing for you to understand that you can only know too much. You cannot know everything. I will tell you, when someone is a very good accountant, Ostegera ne bamuwana nomuwana nawangula ku award, he will make himself believe he can be a good lawyer. Certain cockroaches and they can interpret law or this. Ostegera. Me, I know I'm good at marketing. I'm a very good director. Ostegera. But I'm too good at marketing because in the arts I'm mostly dealing with marketing and the business side of the arts. I direct because normally I don't see someone that can direct as good as I. So 2cc Mark 2 VVTi will give me like yes Salmi. Normally olaba kati mu industry ya film katemba, directing is vision. I'm not saying like there is no director that is as good as me, but someone that can give me my vision. Nakorako no muwala, she was good. She knew exactly what I wanted. She did it better than me. Do you know someone getting your vision naji kutira walingi better than what you thought? The problem is ngari abana bange ngabavubuka abalya. So she would eat one by one. This month she would eat the other guy, the other month she would eat the other guy. Katinganda babavubuka bajjana kwekuba. Of course she had some insubordination issues ndoza. Chovola babagamba at work, when you're working with people, a boss should not get into sexual relations with the people you employ. Because imagine Arthur has a crew that I work with and I sleep with this girl, sleep with that girl, it will burst. Bajja kwekuba. Okitegeera ate bwe naaba neebaka nabo nja kwagala okulaga mukama wange nti ate kati njagala mbalaga amaanyi. That's what happened. So she reached a point nga ayagala ndageko ku maanyi nti why without me this thing can't go on. Olwokuba yali yeebase with multiple guys, so she needs to show them power. Okitegeera because bwoba n'omuntu omu asobola okukubulira n'obuba ne bangi tofuna na budde butuula n'omu in the same area. They say VVTi engines can't be fixed when they get problems. You just need to replace. Yes, they can be fixed, but you'll not get peace. Tesobora kusirika. But they are cheap to replace. VVTi engines are very cheap. Some time to come. I'll document the entire process. VVTi engines are very easy to replace. Primo ya million is Saturn H2 Primo new model. Atenga zino engines nyingi nnyo mu motoka za VVTi za Toyota. Because this engine is in Alex, it's in Raum, it's in Spacio, it's in IST. So the engines are almost Primo, Ujisanga, Wish, ogisanga mu Opa. You get, these engines are shared in multiple cars, so you should not be worried about buying another engine. What's the problem with chewing? Now the problem with chewing, Charles, is that you'll get conflicts that are not supposed to be there. If someone comes to a workplace and they get one relationship and then they maintain that relationship, it's okay, because if that relationship ends, they would have tried. But if someone comes and then they start multiple relationships that are not serious, you'll get trouble. People get emotional breakdowns when you're working, and you don't want that. How much is the Beams 2000? That I have to ask. Your boys also wanted. Go told them sexual harassment cases. Sexual harassment. The woman wanted, the men wanted. And you know, men just want to eat. I was talking to a certain girl and I was telling her, men just want to eat. So wasn't you as a girl having multiple sexual partners makes you a brave girl or makes you a woman that is on the market? No, it doesn't. You might as well walk out of a room with Arthur and every man around knows Arthur has slept with you, has just done you, and then you talk to any other man and they'll go in the same room with you and then do you. Men don't care about that. Normally it's women that report sexual harassment cases. Now if it's the woman that is harassing the men, for harassment to chicos harassing, some guy actually told me sometime a story of a boy that refused to sleep with a girl. The girl dragged him and raped him. The girl dragged him to rape him. Guy he was in coma for like 3 weeks. Oxygen. And then when he told me that story, I was like, this guy is stupid. If a woman wants some from you, give her. Can use a condom, but give her. Why do you let a woman get to a point of dragging you? Like, we are men. Men don't get raped. Like, how do you grow up and you have your grandchildren and you tell them I was once raped by a woman? Whether you were dragged or not, that's something that a man should never say. And don't bring me this bullshit that comes from the West, that even men are people. Men are men. If you're a man and a woman wants and you're still close to her and you can't get out of her way, buy condoms. Give her. Now I know that's not very good advice. If you don't want a woman, don't. Hey Arthur, thanks for the great work. I need to find out something. Pass your UB and your shape. Over 150 kilometers mileage in good condition, 20 million. Yeah, just look at the condition. If the condition is good, sometimes I tell you people not to mind about the mileage, because people reset mileage, by the way. About resetting a mileage, even not resetting. I can drive my car kilometer. I can drive to where Moroka, and I buy a new clock and I put it and it has 20k. So you come to your UAM and I tell you mileage, and then you will buy thinking this car was maintained, probably kept. You get what I'm saying? So sometimes I tell you guys not to mind about the mileage, as long as the car works for you, the engine is in good condition, the gearbox works properly, the body is okay, the interior is okay. We bought Ernest's Spacio UAS. It had how many kilometers? We bought it over 16. I don't really remember. 16 over 17. But the car was as good as a UBD. You get what I'm saying? It's a UAS, but as good as a UBD. I look at some UBDs on the road and I remember Ernest's UAS, and I'm like, give an insight on Toyota Mark II Grand of 8 million. Buy if the engine checks out, the gearbox checks out, and you like the body and interior. Buy Mark II Grand at 8 million. Of course, it won't be a new number. If it's a new number, you need to check the paperwork, check that it has no accident history. Otherwise, Mark II Grand is a very good car. Or you get the about engine. How much is Grand engine? Ne, Salmin, engine ya Mark II Grand bojitoba muononyi. Exoka, that engine is big. 2000cc engine is very hard to kill. That I can tell you. It's very hard to kill a 2000cc engine, and not just a Mark II Grand. Any engine of a 2000cc is very hard to kill. Or young 1.5cc, njijamulo akunywa oil. Ochitegera. Ningira na yote kugia atenga nziru kabana nze nkuba fire. Nganzije wange ne kumacha wanonga tugenda. Bobi ataka. Sometimes I drive nendo ozo bangende ko muze mpaka. Ochitegera. Hello, Carlson. I hope you're doing well. The keyword is pre-purchase inspection. Move mu shortcuts banaye. Speaking from experience, natomerako omusajja mumuwe sente azirye naawe ofune kyoyagala. Bannange bagambe bampe sente za pre-purchase inspection. Yes. So you guys, I want to make sure that you guys have understood today's topic. We are only humans. We can only do too much. Sometimes things work out, other times things don't work out. But when things are not working out, ate tewetuulako okitegeera tojja kufa. You're going to stay alive. I was talking to a lady friend of mine. Yes, guys and men can be friends. Of course, there can be eating involved, but they can be friends. So I was talking to a lady friend of mine, and she went through a very tough time last year, towards the end of last year. And because it was really tough, that she was ready to die. But then as she was ready to die, she remembered she owed some people money. And then she decided she wasn't going to die. You get? That's a very, very, very good turn of events for you to remember that, okay, we in fact even abantu abamanja ani ana abasasula. But me, I told her, bwaba bakubanja nga bakubanja sente nyingi fabo fi ate bana abanja omulambo tebajja era bajja ku kitabo tibagawo wayi muntu yafudde okitegera. But anyway, and for her, she said that if she went through that period, nothing can put her down anymore. Nothing can put her down. I think she said there was depression during that time, and me, I've never believed in the concept of depression. Depression is a situation where you are stressed and confused at the same time. I don't believe there's anything like depression. Where about depression, you're just stressed and confused. So when someone fails to understand what is stressing them and what is confusing them, I'm depressed. Me, I've never been depressed. There's a time when I was stressed and confused. That was when I was around towards the late 20s, starting around 26. No. Starting around 23. I was confused in and I think during that period in your 20s, so many people, especially for us as Ugandans, we are confused. Because it's too hard being Ugandan. It's too hard being Ugandan that for some time you might actually think that there's something wrong with you, but there is nothing wrong with you. That's just the journey of life. Sometimes it's going to be hard, and then when it starts working out, you'll actually forget that there was a time when it was hard. I was talking to my people. We had a meeting, was it Friday? And I realized most of these young people struggle a lot with what to do. And I was telling them, okay, when you're doing something, do it for a minimum of 3 years. In those 3 years, it will be possible for you to master the art, for you to know how to do the business if it's a business, for you to know how to do the job if it's a job. And if you don't figure out in 3 years, you can change. But majority of our young people, including me in my 20s, for like 4 months, 6 months, away from that, guys, I want you to understand you can only not too much. You don't have to give up at the 400k that he wants, but I want you to understand that you need to do pre-purchase inspection. You need to actually talk to someone that knows. Someone was texting me yesterday at night. He sent me a text, pictures of a Primo, and he was asking me, Arthur, I'm your follower for the love of cars. I was asking, can I buy this Primo 6.8 or buy it worth 5 million? I told him clearly, I cannot talk about that car without seeing it physically. Oyagala confirming ejigule mukaga chinana ojo tuke kampala bagambe bakubyo gambe why? Arthur ya confirming you get. I cannot confirm the value of a car until I actually look at it physically. Bajja kuguze moroka lisere emunga ya chigo. Bakuguze moroka, it was a manual Primo. You can buy a manual. People have an idea that manual gearboxes don't die, but a manual gearbox actually dies, and it reaches the point nga you put a gear and it pops out itself. So I clearly told him I cannot confirm the value of a car unless I actually see this car physically. And he said, but you said you bought your Corolla from the village. Even this one is in the village. Yes, I'm not stopping you from buying a car you want. But all I'm saying, when I was buying my Corolla, I went with two mechanics, by the way. Two mechanics, and I paid them. I paid them 150 each. Jemitwara meka asatu when we went to buy this, and I didn't really want it. And they said, you know what, you buy it. And it's true when I look at, because walijijewa emotoka eno million ton each. Yes, I'm going to change the engine, but you see this engine, you can drive it for 10 years. It's just that I know that if I put a new engine, I'm going to get better fuel mileage, I'm going to get better peace. People drive engines like this one for 10 years, but me, I'm changing it because, well, the car has served me. The sijibaja ya dechikumi. You get. But when you're going to buy a car, you need to understand that we are only human. We have the knowledge we have is what we have been exposed to. That's why when I'm going to help someone buy a car, I sit down with them and I ask them, okay, what car are you looking at? And then they tell me the car they want. And then I ask them, why do you want that particular car? What are you going to use the car for? It's important for us to understand, because you may want an SUV when in actual sense you need a van. You may want a van when in actual sense you need a sedan. But that's why it's important for us to discuss, why do you need this particular car? What are you going to use it for? And then when I understand what you're going to use the car for, then I can actually advise you, buy this car or don't buy it. And then I ask, it's a very delicate issue for me to ask someone's income. Sometimes when I look at someone and they are not complicated, I normally ask them, okay, what kind of job do you do? How much do you make? And then they tell me, and then we discuss together, will you be able to maintain this particular car? Where do you live? Where do you work? And things like that. It's important for you to understand. But it's important for you to know that we can only understand at the level of information that we have been exposed to. You cannot understand higher than the level of information you have. I don't know if I make sense. If Arthur has 1 degree in, let's say in business, and he has done business for a year, or business management for a year, that's the only information he has. He doesn't know the amount of information unless he has researched extensively. That's why when Arthur is doing a pre-purchase inspection with you, he comes with a mechanic. Because there are things that Arthur doesn't know, for example, that the mechanic will know. There are things I don't know that you will know. For example, preference. Where are you going to buy this car? Where are you going to drive it from? That's why before we buy a car, I ask this person, are you happy with this car? Are you willing to buy it? Do you think it will be worth your money? Do you think you'll be happy with it? Which I said, but I can look at a car and I tell you, okay, it's worth this amount of money. It's a good buy. Because there are times we have been through that. We go look at a car, I think I like it, the mechanic says it checks out, and then the person that is buying the car says, okay, I don't think I like it. You get? And they're genuine, they don't like it. So we say, okay, let's go look at other cars. And then you get to a car and you all like it. But even a Mark II Grand engine is spoiled. You do not need to buy all of it. You buy the central block, they call it Kawanga. It costs like, yeah, Dave, akawanga ogenda kaja ku million emune emitwalo 2. Olina edduuka eritunda obuwanga, because kati aka Mark II kaba ka million emune emitwalo 2, kanzije nkuguleko akeeyanga olabika okayina ku mitwalo 7, because akange bangamba M9. The one NZ Kawanga can't be 1.9, and then that one is 1.2. You get? But if you know, by the way, Dave, please share a contact and one. Share a contact of that person, Yoguro Akawanga, so that I also compare. Depression is so real. It's not fake diagnosis. It's far worse than normal stress. Doctor. Nkulaba, you're a doctor. Mr. Kraniman, the city kids are more depression. I've been to a situation where people actually say that they are depressed. I've been to that dark place where nothing is working out. Nobody's understanding you. You don't think you should be talking to anyone. I came out of it. Do you know why I came out of it, Grandma? Hi, Dorothy. I came out of it because I had no option. I had to come out of it. I'm one. I don't have a brother. I don't have a sister. I had to come out of that situation. I could not afford therapy. I could not afford that thing that you guys in the medical field call therapy. I had to come out, and I came out. I think what people call depression personally, and I'm not a medical doctor, I'm not a medical person, I cannot confirm it scientifically, but me, I personally think that what people call depression is confusion and stress. You get stressed about your current situation, and then you get confused about what is coming in the future, and then you get worried about both, and then you start acting out funny, you start locking yourself in the room, you start using drugs, you start doing all those things that people that we call depressed do. You get, I don't think it's depression, it's confusion plus stress and worry. You get. But of course, grandma, you guys have scientific information, is just sitting there. But in Uganda, and when you have grown up the way I've grown up, you don't have an option to be depressed. For me, depression, in my case, if I get depressed, it will be stupidity. Which take later. Depression be abazungu. Gwemunayu ojagaza okujaka akaji. Exactly, kateka sango. Which take later. Depression is stress plus confusion plus worry. Once you understand what am I stressed about, can I change it? No. Okay, let me let that go. What am I confused about? This decision and this decision and this decision. You get it? And then you say, okay, let me first make this decision because it's important. Then I'll make the other decision later. And then, watch the panic. Let's say panic. Then you stop the panic. And then when you make one decision and it works out, then you go to another, then it works out, then you go to another, then it works out. Watch the then you'll never be depressed. I tell you, infection bana abasawo bagala kutubba bubbi. Zenange so banzi janja infection ebanteka ko ne wano kanyina ne bakuba empiso week number. Nawona, so I cannot, because I'm not a sciencer. Sisobola baga ne abasajja tutandika okulwala infection from where? Of course I would understand when they tell me, because that weekend I went for a run and there was too much dust. So I'm imagining probably I inhaled that infection through the dust. Which that is understandable. If abasajja tetwalwala ngebe bya infection bichi. Njite infection z'abana n'abaana abato nze nakula saalwala ku infection twalalanga malaria, typhoid, okitegeera malaria gwe twalwalanga nga tumira chloroquine. But these days abaana simanya infection, simanya yomusa, simanya infection yaki, simanya doctors bana ba doctor muli bagezi kranima mutu tetenkanyiza buli ango nange njagala kufuna magezi ng'aba doctor, okitegeera. Thanks. My question is that what is the best Harrier kumufuna mpola? Harrier si ya mufuna mpola. Harrier and mufuna mpola should not be in the same statement. Okitegeera. Firstborn, Harrier and mufuna mpola should not be in the same statement ever. Nze ndi mufuna mpola kati Harrier anjagaza ki? Okitegeera. Ba mufuna mpola mugule Corolla, mugule Vitiz, ne field temugenda yo, ne Spacio temugenda yo. I'm saying a Corolla because kati nze njivuga atende mufuna mpola. Okitegeera. Mufuna mpola mu Harrier toddamu kugatta kigambo mufuna mpola ne Harrier. Because if you buy a Harrier ngoli mufuna mpola, very soon you will not be mufuna. Even the mufuna will go. You will start to mpola. You get. Because the Harrier will take everything out of your pocket. I've seen people that packed Harriers in Bikomera, ne mulema. Okitegeera. Harrier ne mufuna mpola bijewo. Mufuna mpola tugende ku Vitiz, tugende ku Burawum, kali ne Spacio, ku Bukorola bwaffe, paso set between 15 to 18 million. Yes, you can. Kastate weeronda ku number plate, osobola ogifuna Dorothy. Tiweeronda number plate, lwakubeereza singa kati number mpya. Okitegeera. Teweeronda number plate Dorothy, oba oyagala paso set. From mufuna mpola to Musulanja. Clip Films, very right. From mufuna mpola to Musulanja, ojatandikanga emmoloka ekunywako amafuta, sente zozo nezinywa amafuta. Okitegeera. N'otuuka nga tokyalina nazoogulamu mmere, otandika okugamba ngule mmere ngula amafuta. Okitegeera. Ng'abewaka bakusaba ennyaanya n'obaga nina mu nnyaanya ez'enkumi nazo tutandika okuzigula muzeewole. Kuba emmoloka yakunywedde emitwalo 7. Okitegeera. Teri Harrier nnungi ku mufuna mpola. Sijja najjiddamu eyo. So guys, I have to go. My time is up. But I would want to give someone that is watching a message of encouragement. We have all been through dark times. The used vits jibale million inga munana 8 million. We have all been through dark moments. And what defines you as a man or a woman is how you come out of those dark moments. And those dark moments will not last. You know, today I went for a run in the morning. I do 15 kilometers. But when you go up a hill, you'll go down a slope. But when you go down a slope, just know another hill is waiting for you. You get what I'm saying? That's life. And once you understand that, you get ready for the hills. So when you're going down a slope, you just know another hill is coming up. So that's the word of encouragement. If you're here and you want to buy your first car, but you don't know when you'll be able to afford it, just know if someone can't afford, at a Mark 2 grand for Mufuna Ampola, Mark 2 grand, it's okay. You can maintain it, Mufuna Ampola. If someone can't afford to cost 20k minimum, please don't think about a car. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking as well. Can I take that to 20k? Genda kuzidi, vitizi rukumi, sisi rukumi, wapasu. So guys, I was still giving you guys a word of encouragement. I know I may not be in a position to be giving you words of encouragement. Probably you guys are stronger than me. Thanks again. And you mentioned about RAV 1.8. Is that from Mufuna? Yeah, you can maintain that. That one you can maintain. Na ite zida bikarabika. Tezida bikarabika. Na inga jezidi. Zibaza VTI 1.8. Which car is best for Mufuna Ampola? VTs 1.0cc. Ya Mufuna Ampola. Ate. Bubanga yu Mufuna Ampola n'ogula VTs ya cc 10. Jivuge nga Mufuna Ampola. Simino byetulinya n'olinya n'odduka. Olina jivuga Ampola. Speed ya na. Tolinya muliro kusukka 2. You get what I'm saying? Mufuna obuzibu abamufuna Ampola bwagula emmotoka aba yagala dduke ne Subaru ovuga ka cc 10 atodduka ne Corolla ya Arthur cc 15. The best car for Mufuna Ampola is a VITS 1.0cc. That one you will enjoy. Okitegeera. Word of encouragement ngenda ebibuzo mbirikira mujja bimbuza ncha ku match 7:15. Every time you go down a hill, a slope, there is a hill waiting. But when you're going up a hill, don't sulk. Don't think your life is so bad for you. Don't think things will never work out again. Just get ready for the next slope because the slope is coming. You get? And your hill might be longer than other people's. But even your slope, whenever a hill is too long, too high, just know the slope will also be too sloppy. But when a hill is like this, just know even the slope will be like this. I think I'm communicating, guys. I think that should encourage you. As you start your week tomorrow, just know things will work out. And by the way, things always work out. They may not work out the way you want, but they always work out. I wish you a very good evening, guys. Let me just go through the names of the guys that have been engaging. Even you guys are very Mukamori, I don't take it for granted. Remember, I do pre-purchase inspection. If you're going to buy a car and you want to buy a good car, ndetira kokubaf. Ne detergent. If you're going to buy a car, you want to buy a car that is in good condition, a car that will not disturb you, paperwork checks out. I do pre-purchase inspection. I charge only 400,000. That money pays for a mechanic. It pays for our fuel to drive to the cars that we are going to check out. Now, snako butono sinza kulia binyebwanga gwetolia. Sinza gula Rolex nesigulida. You get what I'm saying? So 400k, we go do pre-purchase inspection and you get a good car. Trust me, I have a history of getting good cars for people. But I'll also tell you, don't buy a car when you're not ready. Sagaro chawe athanga ategwa kola decision yo gule motoka. So I do pre-purchase inspection. I sell car tracking devices. The car tracking devices will cost you either 350,000 or 450,000, depending on what they do. I also sell car alarms at 250,000. That money includes installation. Gwe ayagala ezara istoja wa Arthur. Anza abana bange balina okunywa amata. Ate I don't want to sell you something that will misbehave. Utandika gamba Arthur yanguza poor quality device. Poor quality mugende wakiseka muzigule. Sijja banyega. Ezange nungi zezo sente. The tracking device that I sell, it helps you track your car in real time. Urabe moruka nibo ibetambula nibaga kakati gaya dusa yari ku 80 kilometers per hour. Then they tell you he's doing 120 kilometers. You can call him nomga why? Moruka yange ngoji duka nyo. Is it yours? Then the tracking device that costs you 450, you can call the person in the car. Nongamba nowulira byayogera. Era osobola ojiwa omuntu gw'omanyi abadde akugeya n'omwazika emmotoka. N'omuyira ng'akwagera kuno gayo kuba bwe yagula emmotoka. Yempanka alowooza oba yasoose okugula emmotoka nnyinza n'okitomeza, and you hear what they think about you. The tracking device that costs you 450,000. Then the alarm, of course, you are avoiding people stealing your matala, your pesa radio. You need something that will make noise and scare the thieves. So that's what I do here on For the Love of Cars. And of course, I give you good advice here on the channel. I have live broadcasts Monday to Friday, 7:15, and I have live broadcasts on weekend at 5:15. Sometimes networks disturbs me, like network disturbed me yesterday, but most of the time I'll always be live here. And I do the pre-purchase inspection on appointment. I don't do pre-purchase inspection on Sunday. Sunday is family day, church day. Yeah, so Sunday is out. Saturday, you have to book me, or kumperezako kasente. I charge 400. So if you want me to help you do pre-purchase inspection on a Saturday, you send 200,000 before. Send it like on a Wednesday so that I put you in my program. Yeah. So you send the kamane and we get ready, and I come and I help you do the pre-purchase inspection. The names. Uncle Salmin, thank you for being live. Mokowa Emma, Seguja Moses, Iman Ali, Salmin, Daniel, Charles, Tekasago, Martha, Pasco Joseph, Edrin Mugerwa, Clip Films, Firstborn, Astro Launch, Tabula Moses. And also, I'd like to remind you guys, we have Market Tuesday. Tuesday to marketing event. We tell people what we do, and we get customers from here. You come on the live on Tuesday, and all we do is market. People will ask you questions about your business, and then you'll answer the questions. Andrew Okaye, Carlson, K. Dave, Dorothy Namfuka, Dr. Kranma, jango to otusomeseko medicine. I think I've covered almost everyone that. Raymond, definitely. I can't. Comic and Jam, Arthur kindly help compare for me Field and Spacio. The Spacio might be better if you get a 7-seater. To definitely be better. It seats more people. Most Spacios are 1.5. Their fielders are 1.5 and 1.8. I personally would think the Fielder looks better. The Fielder might be much more comfortable. The Fielder is prone to being stolen more than a Spacio. The Fielder bagiseera nnyo okusinga Spacio. But both those cars will definitely serve the same purpose. So it depends on what you like in style. Kumpizezimu. I'll come for Alama, Amina, Moses. Paul, that's a resourceful tracking product. Does it have monthly fees? Not monthly, you'll pay annually starting the second year. You'll be paying annually 50,000 when it expires. Yeah. And the 50,000 is not like you're not paying for the device, you're paying for a platform. There is a free platform because that free platform was tracking this one gives you real-time information. Amina, guys. So thank you very much for being part of this broadcast. I'll see you tomorrow. And if you're watching this broadcast tomorrow or a week after or a month after I did it, I don't take your data and effort for granted. But all in all, I wish you guys a very good Sunday evening. Don't do what I wouldn't do. Don't drink and drive. If you're going with someone that you don't trust, put on a CD or just don't go. If you're married, be faithful. Be faithful. I wish you a very good evening. I'll see you tomorrow for those that can make it at 7:15 Jakuba Live. Ciao.